Hi, I'm Leap. I use he, him.
I'm Embers Tide. I use he, him.
I'm El Ninja Cupcake. She, her.
I'm Haley. I use she, her.
I'm Jerika. She, her.
It's me, Jay, your DM. I use he, him.
And I'm Air, and I use he and him.
And together, with our powers combined, we are Insight Check.
Pod. You can't forget the pod, or else it's an imposter and not
Gonna
us.
take your podcast down to 0.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, we can beat up any other podcast at this point.
There's a lot
Oh
of
my
us.
God.
We're all here.
Just by
too.
sheer
all
numbers.
That's true.
We have volume today. We can't promise quality, but we can promise quantity.
Yes.
We're rolling deep with the crew tonight.
Your
very-
holiday present quantity.
Oh my goodness,
And the
okay.
reason that we are all here today is to bring you a very exciting special edition of Insight Check. To wrap up 2018, we are going to share with you our 12 D&Ds of the Christmas season, our 12 top things that have happened in D&D in 2018.
Well, 12 things that definitely happened in 2018.
12 of our favorite things that we could come up with at this moment in time. And we reserve the right to add additional things via Twitter when we realize all the great things that we forgot.
So in a sense, this is like a giant dungeon crawl, right?
It is. It's the biggest dungeon we've ever faced. Are you ready? Are you ready, team?
I'm replaying in my mind all the Rocky montages I have ever seen as a child, as a youth, as an adult.
I cast
Literally.
guidance on everything.
I've never watched Rocky.
Me neither. I do know the theme song.
I'm gonna
though.
have to request that you don't hum. I will have to sync up the humming. And, it's gonna be a complete nightmare.
It could just be tragically off sync from each other
We sang
because
it in
it's
the
probably
worst
more
round
accurate.
ever, yeah.
It's Jay's version of Edgar Allan Poe's The Telltale Heart is when humming doesn't sync on a podcast
This
track
whole
set.
podcast is my version of hell. So let's just make this as painless as possible with the 7 tracks.
You brought us here. That's like, that's the best part of this.
Yeah.
True.
You summoned it upon yourself.
So
But-
before we get to our 12 yays of Christmas, I would like to hear Embers, who has been pushing this next piece on Twitter, and
It's
I cannot let it slide.
I know, I wrote a check that I hope my butt can cash, as they
An
say.
insight check. It's an insight check.
It's
an
Oh, I got it.
This is why we can't have nice things.
That's right. It's
Have
gonna
bad
be
jokes
terrible.
instead.
All this crosstalk, I'm descending deeper and deeper into hell.
This podcast is very full of dads, so we can't promise no dad jokes.
That's
It's the
true.
dad cast.
It's oh god. I can see.
I'm Jerika. I'm your dad for this evening.
It's very paternal.
Oh, man.
I'm Embers. I use Daddy-O.
Okay.
All right, really quick, should we rank all the insight checkers on dad to daddy?
Hey.
Daddy.
Embers, please sing.
Please say,
Okay.
Embers, take it away. Save us from this madness.
I dump charisma as well. Don't ask me to cast a spell. I sound like just AFL, so don't get in my way. I trade my soul for a wish. Midsummer's brunch with Cathris. My dream acting internship. No treasure I won't pay. Your shape was molding. Ripped jeans, scales were showing. Hot night, druids blowing. Wild shape into giant snaky. Hey, I just met you. My party's lazy, and there's a dragon, so maul it maybe. You're tanking this fight. Thank you, Snakey. We're in a dungeon, so crawl me maybe.
Yeah.
I found a pit down to hell. I cast a magical spell, familiar sulfurous smell, and now you're in my way. They call him Grave of the Men. His CR's well over 10. I'll roll my wizard again, cause it's a TPK. His smoke wings unfolding. What are we beholding? Ones on dice are rolling. It's what we get from Holkins, baby. Hey, I just crit you, and this is crazy. I'm in a dungeon, so crawl me maybe. And all my death rolls are trying to save me. So we're in a dungeon, So crawl me, maybe.
I'm not worthy.
I'm crying right now.
Whatever
It was a
follows
duet
will
the
not
whole
be good
time.
enough for that as its intro.
Oh my!
And this
needs
was
to
your
go out.
episode of Insight Check.
Yep.
That was it. That was the whole thing. We're done now. We're going home.
I can't follow that. That's
This
not
was
a thing.
the episode. Have a good New
All
Year.
12 yays are for that intro.
We'll see you next
It's very
year.
important that I call props out to Cal, one of our good friends on Twitter. I actually, part of the verse that I jumped in on at the end was he came up with on Twitter. So when him and Embers started playing around and I just butt my head into it, Embers pulled me in. And we thought that it was super appropriate to use Cal's words because they were
Hang on, I'm putting
super good.
I'm putting that into a translator from Canadian to English, I believe. But my head in means I helped improve with my presence. All right, just wanted to clarify that for you.
Yeah, there you go. You got it. You
But
totally
if you're
got it.
not following at Cal Drennan on Twitter, you should.
Cal, you
sure.
word criminal. I should have been aware. Your punny crime hands were all over this, I'm sure.
I feel like maybe we have some guests that we need to start planning for next year.
More dads. Great.
More dads.
I mean,
2019 is the year of the dads.
I'm here for another daddy.
Welcome to Insight Dad, where we delve into the dungeon of
Of your dad
man
decisions.
Dirty socks.
your dad decisions.
I didn't sign up for Dream Daddy Simulator D&D edition.
Oh my god.
I'm actually
Oh, I
starting
would
this
play
thing
that.
too, right?
All right. Well, let's get this show on the road.
Hot dads of D&D.
It's a calendar I would buy.
Yeah, just saying.
I would 200% buy that calendar.
This is getting like I'm just gonna start these 12 Yays of Christmas, and my first one is like I'm a little uncomfortable about it right now because I'm literally talking about being a dad. Segued, and I'm literally holding my son as all of these like very piquant references are happening. Thank God I have headphones on.
Our secret eighth guest this episode.
Yeah. Douglas is fast asleep, and my first yay of Christmas of 2018 is my family and the birth of my son. He is going to be a month old on the 24th.
Crazy.
And yeah, it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. So that's been really, really cool. And it's really cool to have the community knew that he was being born, and a lot of really cool things have happened because of it. And people have been really kind and supportive. So yeah, I'm very just blessed and thankful.
When does he get his first die?
You know what? There are big foam dice that you can get on Amazon, and I gotta buy them. Like tomorrow. And so him and his sisters can have D20s that they can throw around. And hopefully, since they're foam, the D4s won't be as deadly as like every single other D4.
Start them early.
And my second yay of Christmas, on the second yay of Christmas, my true love gave to me Ethan Schoonover. And
Not Douglas.
What a gift!
In a little bow.
in a tiny, oh my goodness. Well, in truth, it's
Back to this calendar.
oh my god. Ethan, man, I'm so sorry, but my real focus
I
was
apologize for nothing, Mr. Schoonover.
Give the public what they want.
Come to our podcast so we can apologize in person.
I apologize for
But-
nothing. I'd take that in a bow.
always working that angle, Drake. I like it.
So what I wanted to talk about before this went completely off the rails is this year was a really cool year for education when it came to Dungeons and Dragons. You saw Ethan on his Twitter talk about all the amazing things that he and the girls at his school and the girls at the camp that he's been doing have gone through with Dungeons and Dragons. Wizards of the Coast has sent out a whack of supplies to a bunch of different clubs and schools around the United States. And maybe it's just because I was finally looking for it, but I became much more cognizant as an educator about other educators doing some really amazing things in their schools and communities with Dungeons and Dragons. And as someone who plays D&D 4 times a week with 4 different groups at school, like, it's really, really cool. And I'm just very thankful for it.
I mean, I think that the idea of bringing D&D into schools has sort of blossomed this year. I've been hearing a lot about clubs and things like that. As D&D continues its path towards mainstream acceptance, it's been really nice seeing that there's not this stigma that follows D&D like there was when I joined in. And, you know, girls' schools have, you know, entire clubs full of young women playing these games and really changing the future of this hobby. It's not going to look so uniform very soon. It'll be a lot more diverse, a lot more spread out, and a lot of different kinds of faces. I remember one thing that stuck with me was when Haley actually said, when she started going to East, and it was just all guys, and then over time it kind of became more women started going. And I think about the way the Penny Arcade started reaching out to women and featuring women as talented creators and bringing women into the company and making clothes for women, and how that apparently has led to more women attending. So hopefully as we make more and more things for more and more people, this hobby and these spaces become more and more segmented. And it's really cool to see it in schools where you can get those ideas in early and really break those cycles where it's just, you know, girls getting into D&D at 30 because they were told at 20 that they weren't allowed to play.
Oh, no. Something that I forgot to mention that kind of ties into that is that like Ethan also for a couple PAXs now has been able to bring members of the D&D community from his Hand Her a Sword like segment that and talk that he's done at a couple PAXs. So it's really cool. And he's had these guests come to the school, and there's just like so many really amazing role models for young women and for young people in the community now, that it's just a really golden age for young people who want to explore creatively in this kind of a game.
But it's not just Mr. Schoonover, Leap. You also have been leading a club, and you have actually received some assistance from...
Yeah, Sly Flourish himself. He did his... He was very successful, and he sent us a bunch of money, which we were very thankful for. That is like books and dice and just really some amazing stuff. I haven't put any pictures up on Twitter, which is a crazy shame at this point in time. So when I get back to work in January, because I'm currently on paternity leave, I'm gonna put those up, and the kids are just so thankful.
Any young ladies in that group?
Last school year, so that was still 2018. In March break, I had 2 groups running, and there were some girls who just wanted to sit and watch, and they asked me if they could just have a girl game. So I had like these 2 big groups, and then I had these 4 young women who just wanted to play themselves. And they were honestly the first people to come to me this year to see if they were still playing. And I have I have 2 other groups now that are mixed with boys and girls. The other 2 were just boys to start, because those were the people that were interested. But
that's wonderful.
It's rad. It's really rad.
That is awesome. Thank you for bringing that topic to our attention.
I think, am I up? Me? Embers? Okay, so I got 2 things, and the first one is going to take us way back in the Wayback Machine. And actually, I bring it up because, you know, there's no such thing as a perfect community, certainly no such thing as a perfect online community. You know, people in the community are going through good times and bad, hard times and easy times. They are coming to a place from, you know, all over the world, all over the map. But sometimes you get a toxic aspect in entering into a community, and you see the community reject it or transform it or use some sort of judo skill to make it something good. For me, that is one of my thankful things of 2018. If you recall, there was a conversation on Twitter about gatekeeping in D&D. Some would say it continues to be an issue to this day. Someone started using the hashtag D&Dgate, and it was all about who's a real D&D player. Like, what makes you a legitimate fan or player or DM? Like, what gives you the right to say you're a this or you're a that? Spoiler, it's an innate right. But over the process of tweets and vitriol and garbage, the hashtag D&D Gate became this thing where people would find this stupid hill to die on. But this time, there was an overwhelming response from Wizards of the Coast to kind of the illustrious A-list DMs of the streaming world to key players who are saying, you know what, actually, if you listen to a podcast, if you watch a stream, if you've read a book, if you've downloaded a PDF, if you've bought someone's material on DM's Guild, if you've thought about a character, if you've even looked at a book in a bookstore, you can call yourself a fan if you want to be. Doesn't matter. Nothing else matters. You feel an affinity to this universe. We welcome you. We're happy to have you. And then D&D Gate became a story of that. And it was a good twist. And that's what stuck.
Yeah, and not only that, but they completely hijacked the hashtag with stories of doors or gates that you approached in D&D worlds and interesting like traps that would accompany them. So when you searched the hashtag, you had to really hunt for the jerks because there were all these positive tweets about like, oh, this door I went to was very fun, or Matthew Mercer like did a long monologue about a very intricate door, and then Perkins did a very scary monologue about a terrifying door, and it was just all these tweets about doors and gates in D&D that completely flooded out to the toxic people. It was totally cool to watch them dismantle this whole thing before it could even become anything.
A pro tip, I say. Pro tip.
Absolutely. They didn't sit there and fight them on their terms. They changed the rules of the engagement.
Boom. So my thing number 2 of 2018 is, I guess to harken back, I started playing Dungeons & Dragons in middle school where there were no classes, there were no kids who were popular and played it. No one would talk about it, and there were maybe 4 kids in the school. We all found each other, and that's how I started playing. I got back into Dungeons and Dragons when Acquisitions Incorporated was first born out of Penny Arcade. So I was a big Penny Arcade fan. That's how I got roped back in. We've been going on that train for about 10 years. I think they had their 10-year anniversary in 18. And there was also a passing of the DM's torch from Chris Perkins to Jeremy Crawdaddy Crawford. I am very excited about this because Jeremy is fantastic, because Chris deserves a chance to
take a break,
do what he wants, and explore other things. And take a vacay, get out of the limelight for a couple of minutes if that's what he wants. But Jeremy is a fantastic storyteller. And I also believe that there's something to be said to reinvigorating a franchise. If it were me and I was long in the tooth, it would be a great opportunity to find a passionate, committed person to bring a different take, bring a different set of experiences, a different history, a different view on worlds. And I think that's what Jeremy's going to do. So I'm really excited that happened this year.
I think it's a good way to like make sure that we get another 10 years of AI to like keep things fresh, keep things interesting. Because the worst thing that you could do with something that you know, everyone involved really loves it, but if it becomes tiring or a burnout situation, like then it's going to lose the effect that I think it's had on many of us and just so many people in general. And
I think that there are a lot of things that franchise and other franchises can do in the future. There are ways that they can continue to make this community more vibrant, even better, more of what we love. So I agree. I'm happy to see that this is a way to refill the gas tank.
Crawford is, I mean, so good. Also, Jeremy Crawdaddy Crawford. And didn't we come up with a nickname from last time? Heat something?
Heat Machine.
Heat Machine, yeah. Jeremy Heat Machine Crawford.
Heat Machine Crawford.
There's a legacy of nicknames forming here that I'm very interested in.
A new one for every episode.
Yeah,
Someone keep a list.
Every time we bring up Jeremy Crawford, we're just going to keep adding nicknames. All right, great. I really like Heat Machine.
I like Crawdaddy. Fight me.
Oh no, the Civil War's begun.
Crawdaddy versus Heat. Crawdaddy versus Heat Machine seems like a Pokemon battle.
Yes,
sounds like a really good Twitter poll.
All
right,
there we go.
Good idea.
Moving right
Hashtag
along.
not my Crawdaddy.
All up in your crawdaddy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, all right. Speaking of Cupcake,
Yes, Jay.
you're up next.
No. Okay. All of 2018. 2018 has been a really, really interesting year for the Cupcake. I have to say that I feel kind of blessed maybe that I didn't get my Twitter feed swarmed with D&D Gate. My Twitter feed this year was a lot of artwork and animals, which I'm not mad at. But one of my yays for this year is all of that amazing artwork and inspired creative adventures that people took on, all the cosplays, all of the, like, I could start calling out names, but where does this end?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's hard to call out anybody because you're gonna miss
You leave
people.
out somebody who's incredible, and then you feel sad
there
about it.
Right.
There are so many absolutely amazing artists in the community, and even folks who just contribute what they can. People who follow that Magnus Burnside's quote of, "It's not perfect, but it's the best I could do." Those contributions make the whole community richer.
Absolutely.
Can I talk about what I have called, maybe in my head, our nega group?
What?
Some of the best C-Team fan artists out there. Their talent makes up for our stupidity, even though we have nothing really to do with each other except mutual, hopefully, respect. So I want to just highlight Maxwell's Demon, Eric Alloway, Dova, and Robin of Leylines. Their work is amazing, and they're all friends, and like us, they became friends over the internet, over the C-Team, and whatever they do, whatever they put out is just so inspiring.
But seriously, if you have even viewed, if you've created, you've done anything in the D&D world this year, thank you. And my second yay of this year is something else that I'm incredibly thankful for, and it is absolutely everyone that is in this community. You're incredible, and you've made my life a much better place to be, and I am thankful to everyone in this podcast for adopting me.
What about the pets, though? There's
The
even
pets?
some community pets, and they also make our lives better.
They do.
I can say that, year over year, PAX versus last year and then PAX this year, how many more people I knew and could recognize and just were so excited to see, and who matching faces to these names that I know so well. It's been really
so
energizing. Crazy. Yeah, it's so special. And even when I'm not at PAX, seeing pictures come in of people that I know meeting and hanging out just fills me with such glee. It's this community is so wonderful. There's so many cool, loving people.
South is coming up, and you guys, I am fangirling so hard. I get to meet this your DMJ.
Yeah!
And
Oh, yeah. That's so
I'm
great.
also excited to meet DMJ. And Cupcake. All joking aside, though, I mean, meeting people at these PAXs is the absolute best part. The rest of PAX is just gravy on top of meeting people I care about.
meaty people.
Meeting people.
Meaty people. Yes.
Meaty people.
People of substance.
Gravy and meat.
And that
Jump in
substance
this
is
stew.
meat.
Yeah, all right. Well, so anyway, Haley.
One of us.
I might also be partially gravy.
It's where the sauce comes from that makes you so delicious.
Here's the secret sauce.
He's got gravy. It made sense, guys.
This whole podcast has got the sexiest undercurrent.
Wait,
Whoa.
what does
Sorry.
gravy have to do with sexy?
I'll tell you when you're older.
Yeah, it's fine. Someday.
All right, so anyway, Haley.
All right, I'm gonna steer us back on track. It's been a long time since I've done this, but beep. beep. I'm backing up the podcast. I don't think I've done that since one of our first episodes. Early episodes. So there's a throwback. So since Cupcake, before we went off the rails, since Cupcake was talking about all the amazing people in the community, and then we were talking about how great it is to meet people, and all these people meet people, I'm never going to be able to say it the same ever again. So I wanted to talk about something that I really I think we have all found useful to ourselves, and maybe it will be useful to our friends out there on the internet who want to play D&D or do other things, and find time to meet up and hang out with people that they hold dear to their heart, especially given, since, we exist partially in this virtual space. Sometimes time zones are confusing, etc. One thing that we like to use is Google Doodle. I don't know if it's not Google Doodle. I don't know why I said that. It's just doodle.com. I think Google used to own them. No, maybe not. I don't know. I'm going to start over again, since I called it the wrong thing. Google Doodles are the things that show up above your search bar and have cute art about whatever day it is.
Those are also very important.
They're really important to your life. Today's Google Doodle is Paul Klee's 139th birthday. He was a Swiss-German artist. Anyway, more importantly to you and your D&D careers and your friends. Listen, don't question me.
We're only halfway through.
It's fine. We'll make it. I have faith in us. We've recorded so many episodes. We'll get through this one too. Something that has been invaluable to us in both playing D&D together and also making these podcasts happen is Doodle, which is a scheduling tool that can be found at doodle.com. And you can use a link to invite as many people as you want, and everyone can put in days and times during a specified range that they're available, and then it'll tell you what days are the best for all of the people involved. And so if many of us, have felt the pains of adult life and schedules and work and social obligations when you just want to play Dungeons and Dragons, or record a podcast, you should try this tool out because it helps us stay organized. And on that same note, Discord is also this wonderful tool that we use that you are probably aware of. And if you aren't aware, join us on our Discord and talk to us. But it allows us to be able to communicate with all these people that we've met from around the world. And sometimes I'm amazed by technology. Even when I work in technology every day, it's very cool that I can just carry my friends around on my phone and talk to them via the magic of Discord. So that's one of my top things for 2018, because all of the connections I've made here have meant so much to me, and these help me stay in touch with those people.
Yes, Discord is better than stealing your friend's hair.
Stealing your friend's hair?
And carrying it around with you as like a little weird shrine.
Oh yeah, I get it now. I understand.
I'm still gonna need a little more.
Made sense in my head.
It makes. I understand. You needed to.
I'm
explain.
actually just mentally editing this podcast now as we record it.
No,
I'm deleting jokes as they're being said.
No, you don't get to, because I'll reference them over and over again so that they can't be deleted.
Oh no! My kryptonite.
Recurring jokes.
Recurring jokes. I'll blaze ahead. I will continue ahead to my second top thing of 2018, which had to be playing in my first ever streamed game on Twitch with the amazing TM, Mazmataz, and our Modron March game, where I got to play the Order Cleric of my, my spirit animal. And tried to repair Mechanus with a bunch of my friends and raise money for kids. I don't think I could really have asked. I could ask to be, involved in something cooler. It was something that I never thought I would. I never even thought I would play D&D, let alone have people that I don't know watch me play D&D.
On the official D&D Twitch channel.
People came up to me at PAX and told me that they liked watching me play D&D.
What?
What?
Yeah.
That didn't happen to me.
It was the craziest thing, and I was like, "You watched me play."
No,
I don't know. I was rather. It was better thinking that everyone was just strangers or our friends who felt obligated to watch.
I mean,
It's so
kind of
true.
what
It's
I
like,
figured it was.
Basically 80% of our audience.
We love you all. Thank you for your support and love and affection or tolerance, whatever it is. I thank you for it.
yes.
We appreciate your grudging acceptance.
Please write us a review on iTunes and give us
Yeah.
6 stars.
Keep writing those reviews, everyone. They're not going to write themselves.
In one of your periodic bouts of madness, we'd appreciate it if you left us a 5-star review.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
During your next dissociative fugue, make sure to
Oh God, this is what happens when we all get into a room and I'm not even upset.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
feel bad for Jay because he's gonna be the back end of this, but
It's
like,
all right.
Well, you know, it's
can't
like when you
stop.
collect your friend's hair, right? Like you just gotta do it.
Yeah, our podcast is exactly like when you hold your friend's hair while they're vomiting. That's what our podcast is like, Leap.
Our subscribers are going to write comments like, you just talk about dads and hair now.
I say we don't even edit this.
Yeah. Live off the floor. There
I
are
like
no
to
bad
meet
takes.
people at PAX so I can steal their hair.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. Okay, cool. My turn. Yay. So my first yay of these precious yays is Waffles
Some
Inc.
more precious than others.
Yay.
Yes, indeed. The dads and the hairs definitely really precious.
The more you
Gotta-
keep mentioning the hair, the less I can edit it out.
Where?
Oh boy.
on
Okay,
to
cool.
Intentional.
Alrighty, so I'm really excited about Waffles Inc. this year. I thought that the crossover potential was maximized, and it just really made me happy and full of joy. Additionally, at the Stream of Many Eyes, Magnus Burnside's guest appeared on DCA. And so there was some also overlap there. And so now my Taz is in my AI, is in my C team, is in my Waffle crew. And I don't hate it. I actually like it a lot.
Yeah.
I just love it. Ugh, it's like the Marvel Extended Universe, except D and fucking D.
I
Hell
love
yeah.
crossovers.
Hell yeah.
Give me more.
It was so much fun.
Yes, it was extreme joy, and all of those people are amazing D&D players. So that's that. The next yay on my list is we had our 50th episode of Insight Check Pod, in which we had a ladies' night in which we talked to Anna Prosser Robertson. You were probably there.
One of my favorite episodes as well.
Yeah, and I got to talk about yoga on a D&D podcast. And that
Anna
made me
is
really
like
happy.
the most consummate interviewee.
Yes, she made it easier for us.
Being an interviewer probably gives them a unique perspective on the interview process, but man, they were so good at those answers that were just interesting and engaging and quick.
Yep.
Try to remember
Good
those
times.
happier times when you edit this episode.
So someday we'll also be good at things. But yeah, no, episode 50 was incredible. You're absolutely right.
Episode 50 was amazing.
I guess the one thing I would say about episode 50 and just the appreciation I have for all of the guests who have been on Inside Check podcast in its history is I've booked interviews before for work in past jobs. I've never found a group of people who just were excited to talk with you, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we have very little to offer people who've guested on our show.
We are the worst.
But it turns out that sitting down and talking about D&D is fun, and people want to do it. And so it's actually quite easy. We just ask people, and they say, yeah, most of the time.
And then they come on, and it's kind of like it's just easy. It's like talking to a friend, and I think that's a little bit magic.
You just like to talk about D&D too?
Like that's okay, and we will all collectively get really excited about it sometimes, and that's okay. Like it's a virtuous cycle when it happens. I find that at least unique in my experiences, and I'm really thankful for that.
Yeah, I also expected there to be a lot more like trudging uphill to get people to be on the show, and it has been extremely easy. It just turns out to be a thing that people like to do.
What I've really found about listening, like, I love hearing people's voices. I've said this a lot anytime we've been in like this room together with guests, but like when we are able to get someone on the podcast that we know through Twitter, that we know in an online kind of a way, getting to hear their voice is so incredible. And getting to, even when I'm not on the podcast, getting to listen to my friends talk to someone amazing. Like as of this recording, our podcast with John just came out about PAX, and like it was just such a joy to listen to you guys talk to him, right? Like our good friend Coffee Robot. And then like with episode 50, the best part was listening to you guys talk with Anna Prosser. It was just really, 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 really cool.
I love that it's all, you like D&D? Do you want to talk to D&D and maybe have snacks and we can have drinks and maybe do some yoga and will you be my friend? It's amazing.
And we're really excited for the guests. We're already working on our 2019 plans. So, and I'm super excited for what we're going to be able to bring you down the road. So stay tuned for more fun.
Okay, so imagine, if you will, a world where a bunch of D&D people all are gathered together in a small place and just do nonstop games and nonstop D&D related content for like 3 days. And that was the Stream of Many Eyes. Hosted in a beautiful recreation of Waterdeep as part of the announcement of Waterdeep Dragon Heist. It was a very, very special event, and I thought it was so cool to see all of these incredible creators all together mixing up their groups. You know, Critical Role people playing with Sherlock Holmes, playing with people that you'd never expect, and all these different groups mingling together, seeing like off the table sessions, which were kind of unique and special, versus, you know, more of like the sit down to play that were very used to being recorded. They had, you know, mobile cameras just following these people around as they got real clues in a physical space and badly solved puzzles. It was super fun. Stream of Many Eyes. What I think I enjoyed most was the kind of almost LARP-esque, but perhaps even better than a LARP. Like, it was just like the tactileness of this setting. Like, everything was real and in front of you, so you could really see the setting and you could feel immersed, and you wore the costumes, and it was very exciting. There was a lot of energy, and you could tell everybody was just really happy to be having fun and playing.
It's more like an SCA thing, right? Like, maybe not LARPing, but like...
Yeah. A total immersion event.
Speaking of gravy...
Anyway, yeah, it was really, really cool. And I'm really glad that it is a thing that was able to happen. Like, the fact that Wizards is able to justify these increasingly elaborate yearly streams, like giga streams, where everybody in the world is invited. It just really feels like we're in this bubble golden age of D&D right now. And it's super exciting to watch it unfold and to just get to absorb all these nice people doing fun stuff that they really genuinely seem to enjoy.
Yay!
And that's me. You know, that's mine. That's my deal.
That's your yay.
Yeah. All right. On the 12th day of Yay, Ayer, what did you give to us?
Well, I don't have anything particular per se. I just wanted to say that my biggest yay for the year was I'm not someone who's super good at doing the people thing. I'm pretty quiet in what might be called the meat space, where the meat people are.
Meat space?
You're a potato.
I am a potato. I am. I'm starchy.
You're more starch than me.
If I disappear, many Irish die. Anyway.
Oh gosh.
Oh, no.
Not my ancestors.
Not my ancestors. Not my ancestors.
Not my daddy's
Yeah,
daddy.
oh man,
gosh.
there it is.
What other inside jokes can we get in here? Let's keep
I bet all those ancestors had hair that were stolen by their friends.
You're only made of gravy. You have no meat
Yeah,
in you.
yeah. I'm just.
I do mini readings
I do
every
many
day.
readings a day. So many readings a day. But all of that is testament to the fact that I didn't think I would ever play through an entire D&D campaign. I ran a campaign for some friends, and it was good. Ran for like a couple months, and we kind of let it go. And I really didn't think I was going to get the chance to find a group of people to play with, let alone like a 1.5 year long campaign that would like finally end, which ours did recently. And it's really been like free therapy. So thank you all for the billable hours I will never pay you for. And
You pay us with your presents. With presents. Presents. It was a present.
Yes, I gotcha, Haley.
Yeah, I mean, come on. We completed a whole dang campaign.
We completed a whole dang campaign, and I got to live out. There's something magical about D&D in that it lets even the most sheltered and quiet amongst us become a little bit ridiculous and a little bit over the top, and maybe the person they kind of wish they could be on a day in, day out basis. And that was really awesome. So I'm really glad that happened, and yay.
Well, I'm really glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I did a lot of things different than I usually do in this campaign, and it seemed to work out okay.
Yeah, it was good times.
As someone who wasn't a part of the game, just to clarify for our listeners, and I've had this as a question, you guys started playing the game before you decided you wanted to do a podcast, right? Like F-List started, and then at some point you guys were like, oh, well, why don't we do a D&D podcast?
Yeah, F-List started before even the Shadow Council Discord started.
Yeah, we went through this the other day where we could sort of trace the timeline. So basically in the Wild West days of the Ink fandom.
Early C-Team days.
So C-Team started up, and there was not really any active community for following the C-Team. Like, there was no sort of central hub agreed upon for where to interact with other C-Team fans. And the Ink Reddit was dead, so me and Malvidian started the C-Team, and then later we acquired Ink. They gave it to us. And we made that, and then from that we met a bunch of people, and some of those people, Air, Haley, Jerika, Cupcake, I started playing D&D with, and those people also became critical for the formation of the Discord, the Shadow Council, and the Shadow Council Discord sort of ballooned into a huge thing, and now we have many more mods and different people involved. And yeah, it just sort of grew, and the whole time we're playing this D&D game together, and we just really liked D&D, and I had this idea. I have this continuous desire to make something. Like, I just want to be creative in some way. But it's difficult because I don't have a lot of people around that can help me film things, and I don't have a whole lot of time, and I'm not much of an actor, and so it's just like, I just wanted to make something, and so I was just like, hey, do you guys want to record a podcast? And everybody was like really into the idea, and we did it first to fill the gap for C-Team Season 1. When C-Team went on break, there was going to be like a 9-week gap. And so we were just like, okay, we'll record 8 episodes, release one a week. And then we just kept going and going. And then eventually we made a Discord where we did all our dedicated planning, and we started inviting guests, and then just sort of ballooned into a second job. But it's really, really fun. And editing it every week definitely fills that creative desire I have to make something and release it. And having all these people interact with it, engage with it, has been really rewarding for me and fulfilling. And it's been really exciting. And just seeing the numbers slowly tick upwards, and just more people coming in and checking us out and enjoying what we're making. it really makes me happy. And it's been a great excuse to hang out with people I care for very much every week, and just talk about a thing that I love a lot. And also to get to meet really, really cool people I have no reason to get to meet. So, getting to have Anna Prosser on, getting to have Maz on, getting to talk to John, all these people that we've had on this year, Rekka and Shiny. Amy Falcone. My best friend, Amy Falcone. Close personal friend, Amy Falcone. Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just been incredible. We've had all the Cat Cosplay was really great. Power Score RPG.
Eric Alloway.
Yeah, it's just insane. It's insane. It's ludicrous.
We had Hadil. We had
Hadil, Lisa.
Yep.
Yep. I mean, just like
Nurse,
listen to that list.
Seriously.
Listen to that list. Like,
the amazing,
what the heck?
mesmerizing Maz.
All these people. I already said Maz.
Don't forget the most important one: cat cosplay.
Yeah, cat cosplay. I mean, come on.
Cat cosplay wasn't missed.
Yeah, I did mention cat cosplay. I think Jerika found it funny that like.
To mention it again. It's the
and
most
don't forget to mention cat cosplay.
It comes in threes. It's funny again now. It's been absolutely amazing. And then of course people that we brought in as guests who eventually became regulars, like Embers and Leap. Literally, literally, I mean, people who have changed my life, changed the trajectory of things that I can do and the life I'm able to live. It's been wonderful.
My trick was I chained myself to the furnace and they couldn't get me out.
Your trick is that you are good at everything, and it's weird. You might be a secret agent.
It's crazy what he can do. It's absolutely nuts.
It's crazy what kind of gravy comes out of his dad's body with hair on it.
You cut his hair, and the gravy that comes out of this daddy, oh my God, you gotta...
Jerika has said it. It is canon now.
The F list is literally a D&D game that has changed all of our lives. So it is quite a hell of a game, I guess.
So y'all, I have to ask though, as the year rolls to an end, what is there anything that you want to see more of in 19?
More melanin.
Yes.
We have a resolution, a 2019 podcast resolution.
Brought on in large part thanks to the helpful and motivating commentary of Mazmataz, and then also thanks to some good conversations I've had and listened to from
Christina Ariel, yeah.
I heard from Christina Ariel the same conversation at the same time that Maz was having it, at the same time other people were having it, at the same time that Adam Coble was sort of being forced to have this conversation. It's been, it's been a strong week or two of thinking about this kind of stuff, and I think it's really been important. But yeah, we for 2019 we want to focus more on diversifying, getting some more diverse people in the guest seat, bringing in more diverse guests that can talk on more subjects, hopefully having them on more regularly, because it's important. We can't claim to answer the cues of the D&D community when we only have the experiences of a small fraction of that community.
Yeah.
You're here.
Add all the flavor.
Yeah, really well put.
We're very excited to be able to showcase some new and different perspectives from our own.
Yeah, and like Inside Check has kind of evolved over the course of its run from being sort of because honestly, when I started it, I imagined it being a lot more jokey, and then when we started recording it, it was like very serious. We were like giving legitimate advice and not being as sort of flippant as I expected. But that sincerity allowed us to have really good conversations with all of our guests that were a lot more intriguing than maybe just sort of riffing with them for 15 minutes would have been. And so you know, as it's sort of evolved from this Q&A show to this more sort of conversational show about playing the game and what it's like to play the game and how you can overcome hurdles of playing the game, there's sort of become this space now where it can be about telling stories from unique perspectives and offering platforms for people to just talk about things that they feel and experiences they have. And yeah, we want to give that platform to as many kinds of people as we can.
Mm-hmm.
It's not dadversity, people.
That doesn't sound like diversity, though. That sounds like dads who are fighting a good fight against overwhelming odds.
Dadversity.
Dadversity.
Dad University.
Yes.
Yeah, university for dads. Yeah, exactly.
Dadversity is a college
Welcome
for
to
dads.
Shitty
That will be our
Puns
new
101.
segment.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you, Jeff? I'm hungry. Oh, it's nice to see you. Hungry?
Yeah,
I'm Mr.
yeah.
Like,
I'm thirsty. Well, nice to see you, Thirsty. I'm Friday. Let's meet on Saturday for a Sunday.
It only gets better from here. It only gets better from here.
I'll have to end this podcast with my favorite dad joke for this time of year, which is, see you next year.
nice.
Which I told all of my coworkers.
Oh man, I won't see you guys again till next year.
Next year.
Yeah, I heard that a lot.
Yeah.
I heard that a lot at the bank.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank our listeners. 2018 has been a crazy, wonderful year for us here at Insight Check Pod. And we would probably still be talking into this microphone, but it's just way nicer that you are taking time out of your busy week to listen to us. And for everyone who has joined us in the Discord, thank you for making it feel like home. None of us were sure what that exactly would look like when we decided to open it up to people. And it is my favorite place to spend time on the internet. It is filled with the most wonderful people I know. So thank you everyone for listening. Thank you for continuing to listen. And if this is your first episode, I swear we don't talk about hair and gravy as much normally.
But the
in all the other
dads
episodes.
all the time.
Heron.
They're not going to understand that reference after I finish editing this.
Dads!
Thank you all so much for all of your blessings this year and being part of this community in 2018 and joining us for this week's and the last episode for this year of Insight Check Pod. We would love to extend our thanks to Ven Swept yet again for our intro and outro themes, Never Stand Alone, and the beautiful and talented Amy T. Falcone for our social media branding and adorable chibi faces. If you'd like to share any of your questions with us, you are welcome to @ us at Insight Check Pod or #InsightCheck, or join us on our Discord.
It's on our Twitter.
It is on the Twitter at Insight Check Pod. At Insight Check Pod.
At Insight Check Pod.
And Insight Check Pod.
And we would love to hear your reviews, ratings. Take a minute and touch base with us on the iTunes, because without you, we are nothing.
Yeah.
Without your love and adoration, we will fade.
Happy Christmas!
Merry holidays.
Like, retweet, subscribe.
Rescribe.
We hope that you have a great rest of the
How
year.
do we end this podcast?
Oh my god, I just realized there's too many people to do This Is Insight Check.
We should just do it all at once at the same time and shout really loudly.
All right. That's going to be a son of a hell to edit, but okay.
Answering your cues from our collective A's.
This was Insight
Check.
Oh my gosh. And how awesome it is. Why are you laughing?
Yay!
Jay's just can't handle. He's cackling in the
wait.
background for the podcast, which is really the only place that you can hear us. Jay is uncontrollably laughing in the background, and I hope it's recording. I hope that you'll hear.
I thought I muted my mic, but I kept going. Oh no, I'm sorry. The gravy thing got me. Fuck me. This is the worst podcast ever. Okay. Haley.
All right.
To our valid listeners, thank you so much for loving us.
Good lord, the refractory period on these puns is extremely small. They just keep coming.
Nope.